Hello my darlings, how are we today? Welcome back to Spooky Witches UK, and today I'm going to be telling you the story of the true events that surround the haunting in Connecticut. But before we get into that, don't forget to smash that like button, hit subscribe, and if you want to, hit the bell so then you get notifications of when I upload. Let's get into it. So, this story starts with the Snedeker family. And in 1986... Alright, calm down. And in 1986, they rented a home in Southington, Connecticut. Because it was close to the hospital which the eldest of the three boys that they had was being treated at. So, this home was perfect for them. Like, it was a proper bargain. Like, it was right within their price range. And was just a beautiful home all around. So, as they were struggling financially, they jumped at the chance to rent this home. Now, the eldest son was suffering from Hodgkin's lymphoma. That's why he was being treated at the hospital. So they moved into this home, and whilst they were looking around the home, Carmen, which is the mum, Alan is the father. Whilst they were looking around the home, it was either Carmen or Alan had gone into the basement because they didn't manage to look in there before they'd moved in because of building materials that were in front of the door. So, when they went into the basement, they found strange objects. Sorry, my son's advent calendar was falling over. They came across strange objects, and these objects turned out to be embalming tools. And this room, this basement that they'd found them in, was also the only room that was big enough for the boys' bedroom. So, apparently, according to the Snedeker family, they didn't know that they apparently weren't informed before they moved in that the home used to be a funeral parlour. So, depending on who you ask, the owner of the house did say that he informed them, and neighbours also said that they were informed before they moved in. But anyway, so the Snedeker family apparently didn't know until they'd moved in that the home actually used to be a funeral parlour. So, they moved in, and it wasn't so long after they'd moved in that they started noticing, like, strange occurrences in the house. Like, things were going missing, like, stupid things were just disappearing. The children would say that they saw strange people in the home, which is scary in itself. They also heard voices and what sounded like a flock of 100 birds taking flight. So the oldest son, they moved in with their daughter, their eldest daughter, and the three boys. So the oldest son was currently going through radiation treatment. And, so like I said, he was very, very poorly. He began to display like radical personality shifts. So much so that this is where it gets uncomfortable. Trigger warning, just for anybody who might be listening or watching. So apparently he was going through radical personality shifts, and they were so bad. He was becoming angry and withdrawn. He was brooding and writing poems that had necrophiliac themes. One incident also found him attacking his cousin. Yeah, attacking his cousin with the intent to rape her. So after this, the family had obviously they'd got him arrested. Obviously telling everybody, look, it's not right. It's not him. He's not like this. So after that, he was subjected to an assessment at the hospital, where he was then diagnosed with schizophrenia. Right. Now, away from the home, he was a totally different person. He was back to his usual self. And as soon as he returned home, his personality shifts began happening again. So, fast forward a little bit. This is where it gets extremely weird. So, Carmen, the mum, and her niece were saying that they had been brutally raped by these spirits, I want to call them. And that her husband had constantly been subjected to sodomy by, what was it they called them? By unseen forces. I mean, that's frightening in itself. So, the reporting that the mop water kept turning blood red, like blood red. Scents of rotting and decaying flesh could be smelt throughout the home, and Carmen was obviously frightened by the spirits she was seeing. One was a lady, I want to say it was a lady, but one had black hair, black eyes, and the other one had white hair, white eyes, and was wearing a pinstriped tuxedo. So, obviously fed up with everything that's going on, she phoned. Like, she got in contact with a controversial paranormal investigators, Ed and Lorraine Warren. Now, remember these guys, because I promise they are going to make a return in other videos, later down the line, because Ed and Lorraine Warren tie into Annabelle, The Conjuring, things like that. They were also known for doing an investigation on the Lutz family house, Amityville Horror. So, Ed and Lorraine Warren, along with John Zaffis, went and stayed in the house. They lived in the house until they had experienced everything that the Snedeker family was experiencing. So, they get it, they're in this house. Whilst they were at the house, they claimed that they had seen firsthand that there was demons in the home. And the damage that they could cause. Well, I mean, yeah, demons can cause a lot of damage. So, they reported being slammed to the floor, slapped, beaten, scratched, things like that. Sorry guys, I'm trying not to poke myself in the eye. Ow, I've just done it. I can't see without my glasses on. But I can't do my makeup with my glasses on. So it's a lose-lose. Right, so whilst the Warrens were doing an investigation, they discovered that one of the undertakers from the funeral home, the funeral parlour, was actually found guilty of necrophilia, which in this case obviously just added fuel to the fire. So the Warrens deemed it necessary that a full exorcism was performed on the house. And after this exorcism was performed, it was then judged clear. Now, this is the thing. Right, before I continue with this story, I'm going to go ahead, do my eyeliner and stuff off camera, and then I'll be back. And I'm back. So, the thing about this story is there is other people that have lived in the house after the Snedekers, and they don't ever really report anything paranormal. They said they've never experienced anything on the scale of what the Snedekers were saying. However, some of them have said that odd things do happen, but nothing like what they were claiming. Now, when the Warrens and the Snedekers sat down with an author called Ray Garton, he said that he struggled to write down the true story as none of the parties involved could get the story straight, and they kept contradicting what the other one was saying. So when he went to Ed Warren about the problem, this is what he said in an interview that Ed had said to him. He said, "He told me not to worry, that the family was crazy. I was shocked, and he said, all the people who come to us are crazy. You think sane people would come to us?" He knew I'd written a lot of horror novels prior to that, so he told me just to make the story up using whatever details I could incorporate into the book and make it scary. So yeah, so that's the story of the Snedeker family and The Haunting in Connecticut. If you haven't watched this movie, I do recommend you go watch it because it is a good movie. But yeah, if you guys have got anything to add, let me know. Next upload will be on Saturday, but I'm not going to tell you what I'm doing. I'm going to keep that a secret. So yeah, the next upload will be on Saturday at around 5 o'clock. So I will see you guys then. I love you always, and as always, stay spooky, witches.